Hello there, people of the internet. Kevin seems to be feeling extra frisky today, so we're probably going to hear him scream at one point or another. Those who don't know who Kevin is, he's my peacock. I got 4 of them. Welcome to the channel. So, this right here happened a while ago, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because I was talking about it to a friend of mine, and I figured it would be good to throw it out there and see what you guys have to say, because I spent all this time and all this effort and all this money building this fanatical, fantastic gun community here on YouTube, and what's the point of doing that if I can't, use it from time to time? So I'm throwing this out there to see what you guys have to say about this particular subject. So back in 2020, like midway 2020, I had a buddy of mine who wanted to get not his first gun, but his first legitimate centerfire rifle. He has a shotgun that he had, and he had a 22 long rifle, but he wanted something that was a legitimate centerfire rifle that he could touch out to quite a distance with. Don't really know why he wanted to touch out to quite a distance with, but he said he wanted to at least hit it 500 yards with the thing, although he never shoots past 100. But I digress, that's not a part of our discussion here. That's what he wanted. And he was dead set on getting a 6.5 Creedmoor. Now, those of you who have 6.5 Creedmoors, I'm not one of them for very good reasons, but those of you that have 6.5 Creedmoor know that during 2020, 6.5 Creedmoor was extremely expensive to get your hands on. Like, you were better off getting 6.5 Jap. It was extremely expensive to get your hands on, and it was extraordinarily difficult to find. I have spiderweb all over me. Did I walk through I must have walked through a spiderweb. My God. But 6.5 Creedmoor was very, very difficult to find, and my friend wanted, he was not willing to pick something else. He was dead set on 6.5 Creedmoor. He wanted a bolt action polymer stock rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. So I was like, all right, that's, if you are set on something that you want, I 100% encourage you to go out and get it. Now, if you're looking for something just to be able to, there's plenty of other rifles out there that could fit that category, but he wanted a 6.5 Creedmoor. Okay, that's fine. So he goes out and he spends $700 and some odd on some 6.5 Creedmoor, and I'm like, all right, great, cool, you have your rifle. What do you say we bring it out to the range and zero it in and fire it and whatnot? And he was like, man, I've searched everywhere for some 6.5 Creedmoor ammo, and I can't find anything. So I remember, this is one of the discussions that we had whenever he was talking about getting a 6.5 Creedmoor. I said, you're not going to be able to find the ammo for it, especially right now. I say, get something else. There's a lot of different options out there that can do exactly what it is that you're wanting to do, that you can still find ammunition for. But he was dead set on that 6.5 Creedmoor. So the 6.5 Creedmoor outperforms a good variety of centerfire cartridges out there. But a lot of these more obscure, I say more obscure because it is less common than some of the other calibers. 6.5 Creedmoor does fall into that category, but not near as much as some other stuff, but I digress. A lot of your more obscure calibers, I use that term very, very loosely. Please don't freak out in the comments about me saying that. A lot of your more obscure cartridges that are more capable out to longer ranges, they were very difficult to find during the ammo shortage, but there were other cartridges that were extraordinarily popular and still very capable of doing what it is that you were wanting to do, such as 308 or 54 rimmed, or there were a couple of them out there. I know that I could find 243 there for a while. I could find 270 there for a while. I could find a lot of different cartridges that were capable of doing what the 6.5 Creedmoor could do at a far lower cost and at a far greater availability. And this right here is the rifle that I decided to bring out to compare it to. I recommended that he get himself something chambered in 308 because 308 never really stopped being available. It definitely raised in price, but never stopped being available. This right here is an Ishapur, gotta remember my nomenclature here, Ishapur #1 Mark III. The British, their nomenclature system for their rifles is interesting to say the least. This area is not chambered in 308. It's technically 7.62 NATO, but it is good enough for the example of what I'm trying to say here. 7.62 NATO was still always available during the ammo shortage as well, But 308/7.62 NATO was definitely wholeheartedly more available than 6.5 Creedmoor. Now 6.5 Creedmoor, the performance of it at longer distances absolutely, you know, is a tier above 308. Not necessarily in shorter distances, but out to longer distances, absolutely. Like you get out to 1,000 yards or so, you're gonna notice a distinct and clear performance difference, especially in drop coefficients, comparing the 308 to the 6.5 Creedmoor. But since my buddy never shoots past 100 yards, I recommended he got himself a 308 because that's something that you could find ammo for, but he didn't listen. He deemed performance to be more important than availability, and as a result, he ended up getting himself a far more expensive wall hanger than something that he could actually bring out to the range. One of my philosophies as to why I own so many different firearms and so many different calibers is because during times of ammo shortages like what we have seen before, I am always able to find something, some kind of ammo, including the random miscellaneous obscure calibers. Like for example, through the ammo shortage for a very long time, I was still able to find 6.5 Jap. And if you can find, now granted I didn't get it because it's, you know, $3.50 a bullet, but whenever you can find 6.5 Jap and you cannot find something else that is far more mainstream like 6.5 Creedmoor, you know that the ammo shortage is very real. But I wanted to stick this information out there because I wanted to hear what you guys had to say. Do you think that availability is more important than performance? Personally, I do, especially if the performance of what is available is still within the ballpark of what it is that you're going to be using it for. Like for example, we don't shoot past 100 yards here. Very occasionally, we'll go out to a range that has 300 yards, but 308 is way capable of handling 300 yards. You can go out there with 223 and 7.62 by 39 and still smack targets at 300 yards without much issue, let alone 308. But he wanted a full power rifle cartridge. He was not looking for an intermediate cartridge. 243, kind of pushing that intermediate cartridge level there, but it's at least a consideration for full power, at least in my opinion. I'm sure that statement's going to ruffle some feathers. Seems like anything I say out here ruffles some feathers in one aspect of the crowd or another. Anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? Would you rather have your dream rifle that hangs on the wall that you cannot have any ammunition for because ammunition simply is not available? And for those of you that scream about reloading and whatnot, if you can find me a source of primers that is less than like 25 to 30 cents a primer, then by all means, I'm all ears. But my friend was not willing to learn how to reload. Reloading is an art. It is a science, but it's an art. And if you do it wrong, you screw up and somebody gets hurt, and he was not willing to take that chance. And I don't blame him for that. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Would you rather have, like I said, your dream rifle that's just a wall hanger that you can't find any ammunition for? Or would you rather have a compromise rifle that can do everything that the dream rifle does at a far lower cost and far more available to actually shoot and use? You know, which would you guys rather have? That is the whole point of this video. I want to know what the audience has to say. Oh goodness. I want to know what the audience has to say about the whole situation. Would you, like, if what am I trying to say here? If you, hypothetically, I don't know if this is the case, it might be the case, but if your dream rifle was a 6.5 Creedmoor and you wanted to go out of your way to get yourself your 6.5 Creedmoor, by all means, if that's a dream rifle, go for it. I will always encourage you to do that. But if you want to actually shoot your rifle and you want to burn rounds through it on a regular basis, 6.5 Creedmoor was probably not the best option mid-2020. But that's what my buddy went with. That being said, this right here is ammunition that I actually did get midway in 2020 because it was available. This is 7.62 NATO ammunition. This stuff is tracer ammunition. And I figure, there's a spider on my issue port. Get out of here, you. I wonder if that's the spider whose web I walked through. I wanted to just go ahead and run some rounds through my issue port right here because I can't come out to the range and not run rounds through a rifle. That's kind of one of the staples of my channel. Just because we're talking about X, Y, and Z, there's no reason why I can't send some lead downrange. Of course, these tracer rounds have a little bit more than just lead in them. That's what makes them tracer rounds. So I'm just gonna aim for my steel silhouette. I'm gonna go for steel. I think I wanna hit the dirt right here. I wanna see what kind of crater we get in the dirt here. And then, because I only have 3 rounds. I got 3 rounds with me, and I wanna go ahead and use them wisely. So I'm gonna do steel, dirt, and then I'll figure out some other target besides that. Unless, of course, I miss my steel, which is entirely a possibility. Oh, I hit the steel pretty good on that. Wee! Yeet! Oh, darn. My magazine messed up. I had to do a bit of fiddling around with this Ishapur magazine because it was giving me some troubles. It's definitely more reliable than it was a while ago, but it's definitely not as reliable as I would like it. So let's go ahead, fan this back in there, preferably where it would stick. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Now I'm going to shoot the dirt. Wow. It's still raining dirt. Holy crap, look at the smoke. That's probably from that tracer. Now that was cool. That was very cool. Whenever you fire tracer ammunition, I don't really have to worry about that here in Florida because it rains absolutely every freaking day. But always have a means to fight fire just in case something like that happens. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the dirt again because my God, that was cool. I want to see if I get the same smoke aspects that come out of these rounds. I don't think that all the rounds, the tracer compounds that are actually lighting. So this right here is a good way for me to test consistency with that. At this point, I'm just having fun. Oh, we got some tracer. Look at it burn. Wow, that is cool. Hell yeah. Now that is neat. I like that. Little cloud of smoke going through here as it burns away. No wonder I lit that paint can on fire that one time. All right, that was pretty cool and completely unexpected. That's the first time I ever hit dirt with one of these rounds. But the smoke and burning that you saw is exactly why you don't want to use these on an indoor range or whatnot, because you always have unburned powder all over the ground. And if you use tracer rounds or any sort of round that might make a spark, make a fire, anything like that, you definitely want to avoid those. Tracer rounds also should be avoided in dry environments, but this is Florida. I could literally shake this tree and water would fall off and get me wet. It's a way of life here. Anyway, let me know what y'all's comments are down below. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. I do this stuff all the time. If you like the video, that helps out with the algorithm. What else? Description down below has a bunch of links, including an email list, just in case. We all know how things go here. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to add here, so I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. And thanks for watching, I guess. I never really know how to end these videos, so I just kind of say, hey, thanks for watching. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.